Folks, welcome to my very first top 10 list, all by my lonesome here on my brand spanking new channel. Top 10 games that I am looking to purchase at Origins Game Fair this week. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. Alright, my number 10 is the HELLAPAGOS Big Box from GIGAMIC. It's going to be at booth 1222. It's a bluffing negotiation game where everybody's on an island, I think, and you're trying to survive and work together that way. But as resources begin to dwindle, you've got to make some hard decisions. So that sounds like an interesting concept. Not so big on bluffing negotiation games, but I do know that a lot of people in my area here are. So that's one of the reasons why it squeaked in at number 10, and that's why I'm going to try to pick up the HELLAPAGOS Big Box at GIGAMIC booth 1222. Number 9 is a game called CASTLESCAPE. This is going to be at PRAETORIAN Board Games booth 1431, and it is an area majority miniatures game with a medieval setting. So that all sounds pretty cool. Now my interest is simply in those monikers that I just gave you. It could be that it's not so much of a miniatures game. Okay, fine, whatever. I'm still going to go take a look at it. Still going to go see what it's all about. So that is my number 9, CASTLESCAPES from Praetorian Board Games. My number 8 is a game called Resurgence. And this one piqued my interest because it's set in Moscow. And it also didn't have a price to it, so I'm wondering if it's going to actually be sold or they just didn't know what the price was going to be on the Geek. So there's that. It's a pool building game with in-game bonuses, and those are all cool things that I like, but really it was the theme of leading a bunch of resurgents to take back your city of Moscow. That's what really kind of grabbed me. So that's what I'm looking forward to with Resurgence from Half a Kingdom Games, booth 1518, which is actually going to be 20th Century Games. And the reason I told you that is because, well, let's just get to it. The next 3 games are all going to be at the same booth, and I kind of have a soft spot in my heart right now for 20th Century Games. It just seems like most of the times when I pull out a 20th Century game, I tend to like it. Now, when I have that in my head, it doesn't mean that I'm going to like everything that they do, but so far, so good, so what, as Dave Mustaine used to say. But my number 7 is a game called Blazon. And Blazon has an interesting theme to it where people are trying to, if I read it correctly, people are trying to gather different things that they're going to put onto their coat of arms for their family or something to that effect. Maybe I'm a little wonky there on my understanding, but it looked interesting. I'm a fan of 25th Century games, so while I'm there checking out a couple more games that are coming up in my list, I'm also going to check this one out, maybe even buy it as well. Another thing with 25th Century games, they're all pretty much small, at least so far, and they've all been pretty affordable. So, you know, that's just the way it is. Number 6, also going to be at 25th Century Games, is a game called Resist. Again, almost kind of like Resurgence. You're leading a group of people that are trying to, well, the name of the game says it, resist an occupying force. So it kind of had the same idea as Resurgence did, in my mind at least, but it's got this card play conflict resolution going for it. I like card play. I also like conflict resolutions games, so it just kind of hit on both of those cylinders. So I'm going to go check it out. Probably going to buy it. We'll have to see. The next one was, again, the theme just grabbed me, Motor City. And basically players are going to be constructing engines and cars and stuff like that to put together. It is a action drafting dice rolling game. So the dice rolling aspect is really what kind of grabbed it along with the theme. So those two things kind of came in together. I also like drafting games as well. So those 3 are really pushing me towards Motor City from 25th Century Games. My number 4 was actually one that was I was encouraged to take a look at it by some of you guys. and gals. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a look at KAPOW Volumes 1 and 2 from Wise Wizard Games. I do like comic book themed games. Now, in the past, I haven't been that big on the generic comic book games. I usually gravitate towards the IP versions of comic book games because I'm more familiar with those things. I'm not so much a fan of Vanilla Strong Guy or, you know, Laser Eye Point, whatever. That's not what... I know that's kind of what KAPOW is, but I'm not just going to throw the baby out with the bathwater. I'm going to go take a look at it because it was, I was encouraged to do so by some of my audience. So I'm going to do that, but it looks interesting. I will say that. I know Wise Wizard puts out good games, so I'm interested, and I'm willing to spend the ka-ching to pick it up if it's going to be something that strikes my fancy, but we'll have to wait and see. My number 3 is OLTREE, Undead and Alive from Hatchet. They're going to be in the Studio H booth over at booth 1222. And this is an expansion to a co-op campaign game that I already own. I just haven't played it yet. So when I saw that they had an expansion for it, and I'm kind of a sucker for zombie, undead expansion type stuff, so I was like, gotta have it. I think I'm going to probably like it. I already like the artwork. I already like the way the game looks. But maybe I'll like it, maybe I won't. But even if I don't, hey, I'm going to be selling it as a complete game if I don't like it. But I think I probably will. But that is OLTREE, Undead and Alive over at the Hatchet, or rather Studio H booth 1222. My number 2 game that I'm... if I don't pick it up, it's because they ran out before I was able to get there. Period. End of discussion. Unmatched, Brains and Brawn. This is a set of 3 more characters, and I can't even remember the third one. I know She-Hulk is in it, and Spider-Man is in it. Oh, Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is in it. So those are 3 really cool characters from Marvel. I'm a huge Marvel fan. I'm a big Unmatched fan as well. So this is kind of a no-brainer. I've already played for King and Country and enjoyed all of those characters. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what they've done with She-Hulk, Spider-Man, and Doctor Strange as well. So that one, again, like I said, if I don't get this one, it's because they ran out before I got to it. But that's going to be at Restoration Games, booth 920. Please don't beat me there. And my number 1 is another expansion for a game that I have owned and played for a very long time. Has the artwork from my favorite artist, Vincent Dutrait, in it, and that is Atlantis Rising, Monstrosities. And so I am really looking forward to this. Atlantis Rising has always been one of those games that I've kind of gravitated towards and really enjoyed. The fact that they're coming out with an expansion to it is an auto buy for me. So that is what I'm going to do. And if you beat me to this one, I might just find you and ask politely if I can buy it from you. But that's what I'm going to be doing. So that's my top 10 games I'm looking forward to hopefully purchasing at Origins Game Fair. Thanks so much for joining me. I certainly appreciate it. We'll see you guys and gals on the flip side. Take care.